Hello. Sorry, I took my eye off the ball. Not that anyone's watching, but I'm here now. I was too busy getting everything fixed. Well, I'm here. I doubt if anyone else is. Do 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 do. Right. I think we're all right. Are we all right? No, we're in the wrong category. Put it to music. Now do music, entertainment. I don't know. Jackie's here. Put incense on. It's a bit strong. Jay is in. He says hello. Sir, indeed. That is the level of respect that I demand. Thank you. See how long it lasts, eh? Oh, feet are in. Ow. Just gotta wait. Just gotta wait. Just gotta wait for the floodgates to open and the chat room to be awash with the old regulars. Or I just quit. Go to bed. I could do that. Quite fancy that actually. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do this anymore, do we? We don't need to keep doing any of this. No. Pinks is in. No, it's not coffee time. It's a live stream experience. If you're reading coffee time, that's because the stream has been mistitled. Not by me. I fixed it, but yeah. What can you do? YouTube is about 5 minutes behind, I guess. I fixed it. God damn it. Do 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 do. Oh, it's buzzing here tonight. Buzzing it is. Oh, it's just. I think it's just. It's a bit. It's a bit cockeyed. Not YouTube's like. But it could be coffee time if you are got coffee. It could be coffee time, couldn't it? At least the notifications are working. But nothing pinged on my. Not I'm wearing the watch, but nothing pinged on the watch that Agas's Emma Groove bin solo. Um, it's been. It hasn't even ping. At one time it pinged. How's it going? Yeah, still here. Still here. Ping. Maybe that was it. Maybe that's the email. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Do 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 do. Bit quiet here. I think all the coffee times have scared everyone off. There's no entertainment to be had. Oh well, this is going to be a short one. This is going to be a short one. If there's no questions, I mean, there's 15 people in, but it's a quiet one. If it's a quiet one, I will toddle off. Art says, "Hi, I'm the best." Of course I am. I knew that. Thanks for telling me. Am I doing well? I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing well anymore. Pink says it was Ian Anderson's 74th birthday yesterday. That's nice. He's doing a tour, isn't he, with the under the Jethro Tull name. and you got to get there early. You got to get there early, so they can check your papers as you go in. Eric Clapton wouldn't stand for it. Neither would Van Morrison. All right, said Fred, or me for that matter. But there you go. You will have your papers on demand as you enter the arena. Well, that's just alienated all the Germans from the 1940s. What can you do about it? What can you do about it? Do 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 do. Joe says, just watched your video about mastering your old 4-track stuff. Interesting. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, because it's going to get 0 views. Because I'm here on my own at the moment. Mrs. has left me. Don't worry, she's coming back with the kids on Friday. So I've been like kind of just kicking around, not knowing what to do. So I thought I'll do something that I find interesting. Alas, the rest of the world won't find it interesting. So that's what that was about. And I'll probably do some more. But like I said, I can't get arrested on the tube at the moment. So I'm doing it purely to entertain myself. Indeed. Like everything I do in this life, I do it to please myself. And if anybody else is pleased by it, then that's a bonus. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. Art says, got heavy horses on 40th and Vinery. Need new stylus. Yeah. Pink says, there's been many cancellations going on already. 2021 dates going into 2022. COVID's still going. Well, there'll always be COVID. Always COVID from now on. I just think, I don't know. I mean, again, it's that demographic. It's the elderly punter. It's not the young kids. We can afford to lose them because they're young. What do they know about life and living? It's the old folk we need to preserve. It's us old bastards. I consider myself an old bastard now. As soon as I'm in a protected category, I'm diabetic. I'm not going to let you forget it. Scored 5.1 on my bloods today. And I've hit 12 stone 6. So it's going in the right direction. I intend to just fade away. Thinspiration, folks. Thinspiration. I intend to just disappear eventually. But that's good news, He said, I still feel out of sorts, but it's better than nothing. So I'm just going to keep going. The trick is, don't eat. That's it. And I'm sure I read somewhere that you can actually live without eating, as long as you get fluids, and that'd be fine. I'll just live on fluids. Just live on tea and coffee. That'll be fine. That won't make me ill. I'm sure of it. And Jack says, ordered a copy of Melancholy and Infinite Sadness by Smashing Pumpkins. Sounds like it's a really interesting album. I bought it at the time. God, all those years ago. When was it? 95-ish, wasn't it? It's a concept album. Of sorts, thematically. It's a concept album. You have day and night. I think that's how it runs. Been a long time since I've touched the physical, because I sold it years ago. But no, it's a good album. Again, it's over long because it's a double album. It's a double CD, so there's a lot of. Really, it's 2 albums. They could have just staggered it. So it's a heavy mill, but there's some. It's got the title track on there. No, that's not the title. The title track is. It's got the title track, which is Mellotrons. Come on, Darren, wake up. It's got the Mellotron infused title track. Mellotrons, folks. They were doing it before Radiohead. And it's got Tonight on it. Not Tonight, but Tonight. With the George Melle's video, which is good. And of course 1979, which is probably the greatest song Smashing Pumpkins ever recorded. I think we can all agree. It's just wonderful. I'm going to do me Sharon Osbourne anecdote. Sharon Osbourne said, "I've stopped managing Smashing Pumpkins due to illness." And I asked her what was wrong, and she said, "Well, Billy Corgan, He makes me sick. I just love that quote. I love that. I love that quote. I'm going to always use that when we talk about the Smashing Pumpkins. as we go. There we go. Russell's in. He said, "Good evening." Kitten's here. The flu is a COVID. It is a what's it called again? It's a coronavirus in structure. Though it's like the flu, but it isn't the flu. Again, because it's. I mean, if you could peel back, I don't know, when the flu first hit, it would have been like the coronavirus. And there are variants of the flu that are like the coronavirus, i.e., that are very, very harmful to us. But again, I don't think they're quite sure of the total virology of this, because did it come from a lab? Didn't it? It did. The Chinese did it. The Chinese did it. They did it all. It's all their fault. The old Kung flu. Can't call it that anymore. Apparently it's racist or something. Like German measles is racist. Apparently. Can't call it that. You can't. You know what? You can't even have a Spanish omelette anymore. It's true. But yeah. Nightmare says, "Yeah, I remember. It's a knockout. It surely is." Je sans frontières, I think you'll find. Brandon says, "Will you get in trouble if we mention a certain band you don't talk about?" Anyway, I finally got into them. You can talk about them. I just don't have to read it out. Look, all you need is 1, 3. Take my shoes and socks off. 6 and 9, and then maybe 11. I think I counted that right. I've probably completely wankered that. I don't even care much for one, really. I like that one. Hold it. 4. I like 4. That's it. 4. I've counted it all wrong, folks. I'm gonna have to do it again. 4, 7, 11, and 13. I think. I feel like I'm ordering from the Chinese again. I've gone and ordered too many prawn balls. Oh, just a story of my life, that. Do you have prawn balls? No, it's just a cut of these trousers. Kitten says the Bee Gees had a lot of Mellotron in the early days. They certainly did. Tom Pink says Kung Flu. My God, you're not allowed to say Kung Flu anymore. It's wrong, apparently. Everything's racist. Everything's even trousers are racist now. Jay said, "I seen the Smashing Pumpkins live on the Machina tour. Dave Mike Garson on keyboards. He was the best thing about the gig." They can be a little bit sometimes. Kitten says, "Puzzled me that the flu vaccine is about 25% effective, but COVID is close to perfect according to the manufacturers. Weird." I don't know. I don't know anything. What do I know? Russell likes coffee time. Well, you're the only bugger that does. You know. Oh, I've got the pops. It's the incense. It's getting up my nose. I don't like it. Brandon says, "You wouldn't say." Hold it. Let me count this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5. Yes, number 5. I counted them wrong. 5, 8, 11, 13. I think I got it right that time. But yeah, that one is essential. That's my favourite. That is my absolute toppity dog one. That's the one that I went, oh. Like that. I went, oh, I like that. Oh, you can do that to me again. Oh. But the first one, I thought it was a bit soppy. I thought it was a bit soppy, man. Pink says the red album and the red cover art album are pretty good. Red overdone. Don't like it. Floyd says, good evening. Would you like to do a review of the Pink Floyd Best of Echoes? No, not particularly. My memory of it is that it's a bit, because all Pink Floyd compilations are just a little bit, because Pink Floyd is not a compilation band because they don't have any hits. I mean, if they were to have a greatest hits album, it would just contain Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. That would be it. Art says, I took the red pill. It's all entertainment. Well, just as long as you keep taking the pills, I think that's the important thing. I think one of them's got to be either an antidepressant or something that will cure the rash. I'm not sure. Sonna says, have there been more stabbings recently in the UK? Stabbings? Oh, it's London. London's loads of stabbings in London. Stabbings everywhere. Stabby Stratford. I don't know. I don't really care. But Meg Khan cares about wearing masks on tube trains. So that's the important thing. Stabbings, he doesn't really care about. He's not that worried about it. Yeah, it doesn't bother him. But masks on tube trains, that he wants to turn into bylaw. Russell wants to see an animated Queen film like Yellow Submarine. It'd have to be X-rated. Animated by Robert Crumb in the style of Fritz the Cat, with plenty of fat-bottomed girls on bicycles. Crazy says, been meaning to get the Genesis Phil Collins Years book. Sorry, let me read that again. Been meaning to get the Phil Collins Years book, but the release date keeps getting delayed. Okay. Jack says, finally saw Bohemian Rhapsody, great fun movie. It was fun. Again, if you just detach your brain and let it float away, because all biopics are wrong. They're all wrong because they have to make it entertaining, and musicians writing albums isn't entertaining. It's not interesting to the average person, and so they've got to play around with the chronology of it, and and tickle the balls of the narrative fairy just to get it to spew out some fairy dust onto the product. And so that's what you get with Queen. So the diehards go, oh, they got it all wrong. It's all wrong. Whereas I sat there and cried when the camera panned over Wembley Stadium. I burst into tears. But of a stadium, because they knocked it down. And I always thought that Wembley Stadium should have been preserved. It should have like a preservation order on it because it's iconic, like Tower Bridge or Buckingham Palace. But they knocked it down and turned it into a fucking monstrosity, And I don't think they made it that much bigger. And I always thought it was one of the crimes against architecture, knocking down the original Wembley Stadium. And when that happens in the film, then they rebuilt it digitally, and I burst into tears. I actually cried. Because for a stadium, I thought, what the fuck's... It must have been the first sign of my diabetes, I reckon. Made me a little bit weak, Maybe a bit weak. You know what I'm saying? Kittens, mind you, but I won't go. I'm just going to say, Brian May says there's going to be a sequel. That should be fun. That'll be jolly. It's going to be about the Paul Rogers years, isn't it? Oh boy. Again, I don't know how they'll do a sequel because they covered quite a bit of time. And so it's going to have to be like from Live Aid to, 91. I don't want to watch that. That's not going to be fun. Unless it begins with the 91. And then it's like, and then the band went on to even more bigger things. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know. I can't see that working. Kitten says, would you have any interest in receiving the Hans Joachim Rodelius biography in English sent to you? Excuse me. Hans Joachim Rodelius. Funny you've been mentioned that. I listened to... I'm ever so sorry. I've got the windy pops. I think it's the incense. It's for relaxation. I think I'm relaxing too much. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was listening to Harmonia. 2 albums, first 2 albums, because I've got the box set on vinyl. I was thinking of selling it because I need the money. Because I had to pay for Herb's school uniform. Yeah. And I thought, well, maybe I'll sell that. And then I started listening, because people aren't here. I've been chilling out late at night, listening to some chilled tunes. And then I thought, oh, no, maybe I won't sell it. I quite enjoyed this. So yeah, so you mentioned that's kind of synchronicity. Jack says, also saw Mamma Mia on the same day. I've got my limits. I've got my limits. Craig says, any clues for the band we mustn't speak of on this channel? Any clues? What do you mean clues? I don't know what you mean. Pink says, oh boy, the Cosmos Rocks. Have you heard it? No. I think I may have skipped it. I might have heard bits of it. It's a long time ago. I don't want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? One, I'm not a big fan of Paul Rodgers. Not that there's anything wrong with him. I just find his voice is a bit, it's a bit of a general kind of rock vocal. All right now, oh baby, it's all right now. That does nothing for me, you know. It's like your pub singer. He's doing this incense. It's overpowering me. Oh Jesus! Gee, I like my old stuff. It was a lot milder. The tears will be running down my face in a minute. So yeah, I find him a bit like he's like the pub singer, isn't he? And he's like the pub singer. Not like New Boy. I like New Boy. He's good. I like him. I like Adam Lambert. He's all right, and he appears, doesn't he? He appears in Bohemian Rhapsody as the truck driver who Freddie eyes up because he goes into the gents. Isn't that clever? Isn't that a good little? I thought that was really cool. I thought it was. I thought it was really cool. Art says from Genesis to Revelation, original vinyl and Discogs. Yeah, well, it can stay there, can't it? Yeah. Mutton's in. Vaughan says, evening, Darren. I've watched a good British movie today, Dream Horse. Dream Horse? Don't know that one. There's even a Manic Street Preacher song in it because the action takes place in Welsh Wales? Yakida? Oh yeah, boy. You should watch Twin Town if you want a good Welsh film. It's got Rhys Ifans in it. Oh yeah. And yeah, it's good, that one. It was like the Welsh Train Spotting, but it was nowhere near as big, but good fun. Learning's in. Martin says, what dinner did I make for the family? I just had eggplant pizza. I can only apologise. Well, they're not here. So I just cooked for myself. And I had smoked haddock with sautéed potatoes, which was very pleasant, thank you very much. Because I'm on this diet now, very simple diet. And like I said, I've lost another 3 pounds, 12 stone 6. It's my lightest I've been since, I don't know when, 22, I think. Yeah, sounds about right. So yeah. Yeah, well, I have to check Dream Horse out. Yeah, I've not heard of it. I watched The Cure for Wellness tonight by Gore Verbinski. I love me some Gore Verbinski. Not the Pirates films, no, because they're just trash. But I love me some Mouse Hunt. Mouse Hunt. Yeah? He also did the English version of Ring, which I think is really quite good, actually. I know a lot of people say, no, you've got to watch the original. But I think for an adaptation, I think it works. And I like it. All right. And I watched that. And I knew it was going to be long. It was like 2 hours and 26 minutes long. So I thought, well, no one's here. I can just like veg out and watch it. It's got Dane DeHaan in it. It was like a man, but he's got like a child's face. And it's really weird. He's really strange. He's a good actor, but I'm just put off by he's a bit like Leonardo DiCaprio, but his face has got stuck in childhood. And he's always dislikable. But that's deliberate. That's his good acting. And what's his name's in it as well? Jason Isaacs. And see, that's going to be good if Jason Isaacs in it. But oh God, did it go on? Now it was a good 2 hour minute movie in there, maybe even a good hour 45. But boy, did it go on! Oh, it went on and on and on and on, and then it got a bit incesty and rapey at the end, which I knew was coming. I knew it. I didn't like it, but I knew it, and I felt really uncomfortable by it. And then there was the eels. What? Eels? Apparently completely tanked at the box office. Didn't do very good at all. I can't think why. Probably because it was 2 hours, 26 minutes long. Jesus Christ. Where are we? Jack says, Mamma Mia could use another sequel, but with a Van de Graaff generator instead of ABBA. Well, didn't they do a sequel? Didn't they do even more Mamma Mia? Or Mamma Mia 2? I don't know. I'm sure they did a sequel where they did all the songs that weren't hits from ABBA. Pink says, Robert Palmer's looking for clues. Well, poor Robert Palmer died too young. It's awkward again. Nobody cares. Man says, I recently checked out Manic Street Preacher's Holy Bible. Not bad. Do I have any theories on Richie Edwards' disappearance? Well, he either killed himself or he didn't. I don't know. Maybe finally pulled off the disappearing act. You know, maybe there are lots of theories. There's lots of theories as to what happened to him. Didn't do Manic Street Preachers any harm. It helped their career, I think. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's running that bar in Spain, I think, isn't it? Who knows? Who knows? Russell says, Trespass blows Genesis Revelation out of the water. Indeed. Lenin said, Mouse Hunt was my childhood. I think it was meant to be a franchise. It was meant to be like Laurel and Hardy. And I really like it. I think it's really good. It's dark. It's really dark. But I mean, I think there's a good chemistry with Nathan Lane and what's his name? Evans. Lee Evans. It was a shame because I was doing the producers in London, Lee Evans and Nathan Lane, and I got tickets to go. It was near Christmas Eve, and Nathan Lane had to pull out at the last minute, so I didn't get to see them on stage. I saw the understudy. He was just as good. Corey England, I think his name was. He was good, but I really wanted to see Nathan Lane. I think Nathan Lane snuck back to the US for Christmas deliberately, and so we missed him. I'll never forgive him for that. Never forgive him. Pink says, any Genesis record blows the first one out of the water. Oh, and then some. Look, the band don't even recognise it officially as their first album. Their first album is Trespass, okay? Okay. If they recognised it as their first album, they would have bought it off of Jonathan King by now. Sorry, let me just correct that. They would have bought it off of convicted paedophile Jonathan King by now. Remember, folks, every time you buy a reissue From Genesis to Revelation, you're putting money into the pocket of a convicted paedophile, Jonathan King, who still goes to dinner with Stephen Fry. There you go. They still hang out together. They like him young, apparently. But there you go. I've lost the thing here. Garrett says it wasn't eggplant on pizza. It was basically eggplant parmesan with pepperonis on top. Something my grandmother just wanted to try cooking. It's not pizza, is it? It's cheating. It's not really a pizza, is it? That's what they say. That's what they say to kids to get them to eat their vegetables. It's pizza. It's not. They're lying to you, Garrett. They're lying to you. Pink says even calling all stations. Yes, even Duke. We know how shit Duke is, don't we? Oh, I've done it again. The kitten says, wife and I watched Mouse Hunt and the Borrowers back to back last night. Well, there you go. Brandon says, I've become a little more partial to calling all stations. Overall, still a 2 out of 5. There are some good moments. Again, it shows promise, but they lack the musical arrangement skills of Phil Collins. That is the missing piece there, because he is a great arranger. He knows about pacing and melody, and that's why Tony Banks' career has been the way it's been. That's why Phil Collins is Phil Collins, and that's why Tony Banks didn't appear on Two Ronnies in the Tramp sketch, did he? No, Phil Collins did. Mike Rutherford didn't. No, Phil Collins did. Not even Peter Gabriel, no. So yeah, I mean, there are again. You've got to remember the time. You have to remember the time. They were going for something darker. They were trying to get that kind of young, post-grunge rock market. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what it was. They were trying to go dark, and well, it didn't. It just shows you. It just goes to show you can't keep it dark. You can't. Can't do it. There's some good moments on it. I think again it's over long. I think some of the tracks need to be condensed. Some of the ballads are all right. Not About Us is really good, I thought, and I like Congo. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. Love that. It's beautiful. It's like poetry. Oh no, the fucking good. Martin says, I prefer From Genesis to Revelations over Stations only because it's interesting. Oh God, it's awful. It sucks. Jack says, have you heard Stupid Dream of Porcupine Tree? Yes. It's still rubbish. Porcupine Tree is rubbish, and so is Stephen Wilson, all right? If you like that shit, seriously, just leave now. Just go. Just get out. Just be gone. Just go. No, I won't have it. We've gone beyond that. We've gone beyond that. I was trying to get you in and trying to change your minds, kind of seductively. I'm trying to, get you to my way of thinking. Something went bong then. What was that? What went bong? I don't know. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was trying to brainwash you into hating Stephen Wilson and Porcupine Tree, just really cleverly. But you bastards still won't let it go. What's wrong with you? Have you got cloth ears? Oh. Pink says, I miss Robert Palmer. Bloody smoking can kill you. It wasn't smoking, it was a heart attack, wasn't it? He didn't choke on a cigarette. It's not coffee time. They messed it up. It was not. I changed it. I changed it to the experience thing. I did spell it right, didn't I? But it didn't take. It took the old one. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't be trusted with this. I can't trust any of it. Lenin says, I feel like they should have really played Mario and Luigi. Indeed. Munton says, Palmer was great. What if you reviewed the Power Station? What if? That's tomorrow night. Or, well, whenever it drops in the UK. Kids can't see it. I'm watching it first. I'm going to be winding them up when we FaceTime tomorrow night. And so I'm actually having it on in the background. I'm going to hold up my iPad. I'm going to have What If playing in the background. Because we've got Marvel Zombies are coming. I love that comic strip, man. I love it. Can't wait. I used to love the What If panels in the old, back in the old days. What If used to be at the end when they run out of space in the comics. They'd have like 2 or 3 pages where the Watcher would come on and go, you know, what if Howard the Duck found Thor's hammer and that kind of thing, you know. He had to be there. It was the 70s. Nathan Lane is Mario and Lee Evans is Luigi. No, everybody knows it's Bob Hoskins. Fuck me, and John Luigi Zawanio. I said his name perfectly then. I said it perfectly. Has anyone seen the Super Mario movie? Has anyone seen it? How much drugs were they taking when they made that film? Did they actually play Mario? Did they actually play? Did they? I heard a pong then. Bongs. Did they actually play the game? I don't think they did. I think that they wrote the script after getting, I don't know, a small child to describe what Super Mario was. Well, it's got mushrooms in it and dinosaurs, I think. That'll do. Am I into the creation? Not particularly. Elle says, could Gilmore's guitar playing still be popular in modern music? I don't know. No. Because he can't play. He can only do one thing. Though he has threatened another solo album and has threatened that the guitar playing won't be like it's going to be more duller. It's going to be music for sleepy times. Even sleepier times. And then he brings out a thrash metal album. Yeah, right. Look, who cares about Gilmore? Who cares? Nobody cares. You know, without Roger Waters sticking a red hot poker up his arse, he's just going to do the same thing over and over again. Walsh says, some good stuff from Genesis Revelation. No. Showing the band didn't do more than material before Gabriel left the band. Some of those tracks could have been readapted. No. They couldn't, because the copyright was owned by convicted paedophile Jonathan King. People just don't pay attention. Am I just talking to myself? He owns the songs. The copyright and the publishing belongs to convicted paedophile Jonathan King. And like I said, if they cared for those songs, if they cared at all, they would have bought them off of him. And he would have demanded millions and millions and millions of pounds. But they didn't. They walked away from it. Because obviously, it doesn't mean anything for them. They don't see that as being Genesis. They see Trespass onwards as being Genesis. Okay. You wouldn't even pirate it, Tom Pinks? Wow. Munn says, what would you say is the most unexpectedly good topping on pizza? I'll go with kielbasa. I know what I don't like. I don't like pineapple. I'm trying to think. There's the little bit of the little meaty bits that you get on Domino's pizza, on the Mighty Meaty. And that's ground beef, and you think ground beef would be so boring, but with the bacon and the pepperoni, it just works really well, and it's just so unassuming. But it's only with Domino's Mighty Meaty, you know. Oh, fuck off, Art. Nobody likes pineapple on pizza, and if they do, they need a good kicking. Zeb says, which Three Sides live edition do you prefer? The one with the fourth live side, because that's what we got in Europe. The Americans got the B-sides, or whatever you want to call those tracks. It was quite a shock when I heard the studio one. It was like, that's odd. But no, we always had the live version with the really cool Watcher of the Skies. I love that. Comes cold, and then it goes. Love that. Could listen to that all day. Pink says, funny, I heard Duke again last night. Most of the suite though. I skipped the rest. Bingo bongo. And that's the album, because it's just some of the songs are just, there's good songs interspersed by really shitty, boring Tony Banks songs. And I think we can all agree on that. And people just remember the good stuff. They go, oh, I really loved that album. But if you put a gun to their head and say, what exactly do you like about the album? Do you like the shitty, boring Tony Banks songs? Do you? Do you, punk? Do you? Go on, make my day. But they never do. But you will be hearing Turn It On Again. And they play, oh, turn it on again. My pacemaker. Sorry, I had to do it. You made me do it. Garrett says, if Tony Banks and featured artists got to wrestling ring, who would win the fight? Oh, Tony Banks. Because he'd have the advantage, because the featured artist would be getting his assistant to be wiping down the ropes with a wet wipe, a disinfectant wet wipe. And while he's getting in the ring, Banks would have hit him over the head with a chair. Bang! Because he's still seething about the success of Phil Collins, Peter Gabriel, and Mike Rutherford. Even Anthony Phillips. Seething he is. Seething. Seething. Where are we? Oh God, where are we? Seb says, anyone picking up those new old Genesis bootlegs? New old Genesis bootlegs? I don't know what that is. I don't buy bootlegs, so. Brandon says, because you can get all that stuff over the Genesis archive. You just download. Why buy it when you can just get the stuff off of? Is it still going, Genesis archive? I know it was going last time I went. It was probably the 90s, early 2000s. But you could get everything there. Thoughts on Diamond Dogs? Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not one of my favourites, but because again, it was Bowie wanted to adapt 1984? Was it 1984? Yeah, that sounds about right. And he couldn't get permission. He wanted to kind of make it a bit more Big Brother-ish, and I don't think they'd give him permission. So he kind of retooled it, repurposed it, changed the concept somewhat. But yeah, again, it's a bit like Young Americans. That's my one, which I think, oh man, this is really cool. Put it on, listen to it years ago. I thought, then come back to it and gone, wow, that's really, really, really good. Pink says the B-sides Cornwall stations are good. Yep, they are good. They're interesting, and it shows you how the band could have developed. Walsh says Genesis' first and last album often get overlooked as the worst. Somehow Shake's albums avoided such a deserved rating. It's not that bad. It's got Silver Rainbow on it. Which we can all agree is the worst Genesis song ever. Ever. That's a good gag there. That's the two Ronnies again. I'm not going to read it out, but yeah, cloth-eared nincompoops, absolutely. Warner says the ghost of Steve Wilson made that noise. I think he might have done. Ooh, rattling his chains. Jan Margaria says Genesis Revelation is not that bad. It is. A couple of good songs in there. In Hiding and Silent Sun. No. I'll show you my copy. Oh, I can find it. It's right there. Oh God. Ooh. I bought this in 1980, bloody whenever. 1980, 85, 86. Look, I'm not proud of it. It was around this time Jonathan King was picking up young boys with his rape kit. There you go. And as you can see, it says produced by Jonathan King. Look, see, John Joe Music. See, look, that means he owns it. That means it belongs to him. Made in Japan, apparently. Hugh Fielder wrote the liner notes. There you go. Look, you can read the liner notes if you pause this, so you don't have to buy a CD. I got this for something like $1.99 because nobody wanted it, and I thought, well, I'd get it cheap. And I'm not proud of it. But it does have bonus tracks in it. I think it's In the Wilderness is the best track. Isn't that one that goes, raindrops running down the rooftops, running through the drains, and I look for something else. Is that the one? I'm probably going to get a copyright strike now. Oh, fuck. Jonathan King's going to bum me. I'm too old for him. He's the only person to actually write a musical about being a paedophile. It's true. Seb says, worst Genesis? We Can't Dance? No, that's not bad. Invisible Touch is everybody know? No, come on. Everybody knows Invisible Touch is their greatest album. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows it. It condensed everything in their career into that one moment. Oh, but if Peter Gabriel stayed, well, they'd still be wearing capes and doing songs about men with bulbous noses. Yeah, but what did Gabriel release a mere fortnight before? He released So, which was his most top of the poppest album. Oh my God. Do you see? If he'd have stayed, they'd have been even more popular. And it would have been called So Invisible Touch. Oh, your minds are blown. Blown. Calling all stations. It's not that bad. Abacab, again, is a superior album because they actually tried to do something different that wasn't Duke. Duke was shit. They went, right, that was a load of shit. Let's try and do something a bit more dynamic and a bit more pulse to it. And they did. Pink says, maybe, yeah, well, not a good thing. It's not coffee time. Oh. Stephen Wilson. Yeah, we don't like Stephen Wilson. I'll let you have The Incident. The Incident's not a bad album. But nobody likes it. I like it, but nobody else does. Brandon says, I prefer the film version of Three Sides Live. Oh, nobody cares. Look, Stephen Wilson he reissues everything all the time, all at once, every day. You blink and there's another reissue coming out. This is a guy that goes on about, consumerism. Oh, look, you're all consumers, you're all sheep. And then next minute goes, here's another reissue, and I've done it on scrotum coloured vinyl this time for you. Look, there you go. And if you look at the ring, it's a picture of my arsehole. So when you put it over, you're actually penetrating my arsehole. He goes, look, that is a limited edition. Limited edition, that is. Just around you put it over the little ring hole. Trust me, it will happen. That'll be the next limited edition. It'll be the Bumhole series. Because let's face it, that's where those albums came from, didn't it? All that music came out of his bumhole. Zeb says, got my J-Toll mode. Oh, Jethro Dull. Oh. Jack Walsh says, the Super Mario movie reminds me of the weird Doctor Who movie from the late 90s. Yeah, that's when they tried to reboot it and made it American. They actually wanted the Doctor to be American at one point. And, yeah, you know, now this is going to blow your minds. Phil Collins was considered to be Doctor Who. Dun, 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 at that time, yeah. He was in the running to be Doctor Who. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine Phil Collins bursting out the TARDIS? It'd be fantastic. I'd watch that. Mind you, there was also in the it was in the late 80s. And Marquis Smith told a story that he was approached, though whether or not it actually happened is another matter. But yeah, Marquis Smith from The Fall. Can you imagine that? One of my favourite YouTube clips is Marquis Smith being beaten up by his own band. I love that. I love that stuff. That's great. Cyrus is in, and because he spammed it, I'm going to have to reveal his message. Oh, he's big man now because he's quit college now. He's done. He's big man now. He's out into the world. We'll see. We'll see how long before his spirit's crushed and broken like the rest of us. Don't like Huey Lewis and the News. No. But then it is hip to be square. Simon says, it's chicken, it's eggs. Yes, indeed. El says, is this the life we really want? Versus Rattle the Lock. Exactly. The Waters album was really good. I mean, because it was immediate. You could tell it was like it came from a place of deep passion and soul. And I like the stripped back, because before when Waters does albums, he gets, Jeff Beck, do you want to do some guitar? Eric, do you want to do this? You want to play on that? Let's put a load of sound effects on it. There were still sound effects, but there wasn't the over egging of the pudding. It was a more stripped back affair, and I think it was richer for it. And I really like the record. I think it's his best album. I really do. I think it's strong, and again, it doesn't date it because he was clever how he doesn't mention Trump by name, but he alludes to him, and it's a very political album, and I think it's his best work. Frighteningly good. Whereas Dave Gilmour, who cares? You only go to hear Comfortably Numb, and that's it. You're knocking one out when he goes into the solo. That's your Dave Gilmour solo face. Answer is played Roots to Branches. Nobody cares. It's Jethro Tull. Nobody cares. Where are we? It's gone up the screen again. Payne is off and he's tired. Okay. I think Robert's a little bit depressed. We might need to give him a cuddle next time he's in. He's been a bit down on Twitter as well. Oh, God, not misunderstanding. Must be some misunderstanding. Ooh, must be some kind of mistake. Can't stand that one. Roger says, hello, Dan. Just watched your 4-track video. Glad somebody watched it. You will count yourself in the tens that will watch that video. For someone says, I'm stuck in the August rain. Indeed. Agassus says, supper's ready. Is still favourite of mine. Yeah. But Invisible Touch has got the Brazilian. The Brazilian. Come on. Joe says, and about $999 George Harrison box of All Things Must Pass. Yeah, I did. I've joked about that previously. Is it about 850 quid here? It's like, no. For that, I expect a little file of George Harrison's ashes to be in it. Yeah, I expect that. Cyrus says, I'm surprised that Tony and Covenant indulged in the box set trend. They don't need to. Surely there's a few unreleased material that's worth listening to. No, they're a bit more they're a bit more reserved, conservative when it comes to that. They've done it all with those box sets back in 2007 and whatnot. You get a little extra bits on that. And I mean, the biggest thing on that was them finding the 4-piece cycle, the movement. I think it's called the movement or whatever, from which loads of bits of songs came from. Rumoured to be lost for, crikey, 40 years. And they found someone had it in a tape box, and they put it on the box set, which was really good. But no, Genesis, they don't need to do that, you know, and I like that because they don't take the piss out of the fans. Apart from the 64 quid vinyl compilation that's coming out is it next month or October? I can't remember. But no, they're not piss takers like some bands I can mention. They don't need to do it. I don't think they're that worried about the legacy. I don't think they care. And that's good. That's good. They don't care. Peter Gabriel doesn't care. Nobody cares. Only person who cares is Steve Hackett because he needs the money. Because divorces are expensive. Remember, when you're sitting down to hear, you know, Steve Hackett do, I don't know, Supper's Ready or Cinema Show for the 1200th time, thank the ex-Mrs. Hackett for divorcing him, because you wouldn't have got that if there hadn't been that divorce. Right? Because he'd have just been, I don't know, doing other stuff. Pink says, first 3 tracks on the Shapes album are excellent. Yeah. Second side's a bit wobbly, but the first side, this is it. First side's strong. Martin says, did you ever see the really old YouTube video of somebody locating John Mayhew before he died? What, the guy from Star Wars? Chewbacca? Wow, amazing. For Simon says, the Huxley estate did not want to give Bowie permission. 94. Okay. I'm sure that's the wrong writer. Anyway, Cyrus says, I still disagree. A lot of Corner Stations is their worst material. Okay. I'll have you down as a Duke fan then. Duke fan. Silver Rainbow, yeah. No, it's not on Abacab, you fool. It's on the Shapes album. Know your Genesis. Know your Genesis. Jesus Christ, Seb. And says, Carpet Crawlers, Stagnation and The Lamb are the best Genesis tracks ever. Who Done It? Everybody knows Who Done It is the best track. And says, Blood on the Rooftops, Los Endos, very honourable. Los Endos. Pink says, Abacab is a good album. Invisible Touch is a great album. It is. People don't, because it's the 80s, and they don't like the idea of a band doing better than they did in the 70s, you know, because let's face it, they went to, this is your favourite band doing really strong, it is strong material. But Invisible Touch, it's a pop song. But boy, is it a pop song. Even your granny could whistle it, you know, it's just, you know, I hated it because I heard it too much at the time. I lived through it, and it's like, oh no, not again. You know, Domino, the Domino piece was used during Grandstand when they used to read out the sports results. You know, Partick Thistle won. Da, da, da. You had to be there. You know, Genesis were everywhere, and then like I said, you know, it's, Phil Collins on Two Ronnies, Miami Vice. You know, I used to look in the mirrors. I see Phil Collins staring back at me. He was everywhere. Now I look in the mirror and I see Phil Collins staring back at me as he is now. But yeah, he had to be there. It was the 80s. For someone says, I picked up a used copy of Genesis Revelation years ago. And then I literally tossed it in the garbage. Not an original copy. You could sell that and buy a house. In Norfolk, obviously, not anywhere that anyone would live. And says, Modern Genesis, Invisible Touch, superb pop album. Exactly. But there's also incredibly progressive stuff on there, like Domino, and, I'll say it again, The Brazilian, who ends an album on an electronic drum-led instrumental piece, which is just so fucking weird. I mean, Tonight is verging on industrial. It's yeah, great record. Took me a long time to get it. It was only when like the reissues came out I sat down and I listened to the 5.1 mix. I could hear Rutherford's guitar, buried in there. It's like he's doing all this really interesting picking stuff, really basic shit, but effective because he's trying to cut through Tony Banks's bloody keyboards. He's thinking, how can I get my guitar on here without him fucking mixing me out? And he did it. He came up with, again, it's a style of guitar playing. It's a bass player. He's playing like a bass player. And I've not heard anyone play like it since. And it's completely overlooked. No one ever talks about it. And it's really clever. And, he invented a whole new style of playing. That's the beauty of the guitar, is that every person can bring something new and different to it, So yeah, I've got a lot of time for it now. I hated it back in the day, just because it was just overplayed, but I got there. And one day, guys, you'll get there too. It's like those people who quit smoking who become become very zealous about giving up smoking. That's me with Invisible Touch. No, you've got to give it another chance. You've got to give it another chance, please. Mutton says, what do you think is the worst Yes song? Circus of Heaven. That's easy. Pink says, Peter Gabriel made So at the same time. That's a good point you always make. It's true. I have to make that point. They converged musically. I mean, you got Peter Gabriel over here who's like, if you listen to where he's going, he starts off with his first album. It's kind of, there's some little weird bits, but it's fairly standard stuff. Then he goes on a weird kind of alt-rock. What would you call it in those days? Alt-rock? I don't know, post-rock? I don't know, detour. And then he brings out an album which causes his record label in America to question his sanity and go, you're right, Pete. You just want to lead a normal life? Really? A normal life? Really? Okay. And then he goes even further out. He's gone. With examinations of Jungian psychology and Native American imagery, he's gone. He's going. Where's he going? None of this makes sense. And then suddenly he comes back and delivers a stonking album which everybody loves. It's crazy. And it's like, bring. They both converged at exactly the same point. Their zeitgeist co-aligned, and it was just an amazing thing. If you're a fan, and I'd been a fan a couple of years, or Peter Gabriel longer, and Genesis, I was like, what was that? I was 86, so I'd probably been in a Genesis maybe 18 months before that, and it was like, okay. And to see the racks in Woolworths and Our Price and HMV just covered with Genesis and Peter Gabriel albums next to each other, it was emotional. You'd walk in and just go, oh shit. It's like that. It was a good year. And I think Queen had a kind of magic out that year as well. And it was good. It was all good stuff. Munton says, what do you think is the single worst Yes song? Oh, I've done that one. Jack says, Genesis Revelation might have done well if it was released in 66. I don't know. I just don't think it's strong enough. Grant says, bought the Shape CD for $3. Love Home by the Sea. Hope I'm feeling better. No. Jack says, Invisible Touch. Yeah. Brandon says, Invisible Touch is the best. I was bummed by the choice to play the edit of tonight for the Platinum Connection. I'll take the full version of Home by the Sea. And says, agree about Steve Wilson. Thank you. Cyrus, stop it. Chris says, good evening. Exactly. Snowflower Elders. We're going to have to really make that a thing, I think. Walsh says, Trick at the Tower of Phil Collins actually would have made a good Doctor Who. No, we want 90s Phil Collins, Bit tough. Bob Hoskins could have covered for him. I mean, who can forget the touted Three Bears movie, right? With Danny DeVito, Bob Hoskins and Phil Collins. And it never got made. There was a script and everything. I would have paid to see that. Uh, do I still have the Blue Oyster Cult? Yeah, but I want to sell it. Do you want to buy it? Cyrus likes pros and cons. Never got it. Wish I could. Pink says Brazilian, and I don't forget about Do Neurotic. Like that one. Yeah. Zeb says Inside and Out. 2007 2 CD tour edition. Yeah. And he wants a Nursery Crime 50th anniversary disc. Stephen says Phil Collins as Doc True. He'd want to write the theme tune. No, that's Dennis Waterman. Do cover a Misunderstanding with that voice. Pink says I still have a lot of time for Invisible Touch. Yes. Pink says staring back at you like the reissue of No Jacket Required. Yeah. Yeah. Angus says Abacab is such a great track. Yeah, I like the album more than the track. I think Abacab goes on a bit. Garrett says, if you were to be an offered, would you rather spend a day with Steve Hackett, David Torn, Adrian Belew, or Michael Brook? Michael Brook. Which one do you think you'd get on with the most? Probably Michael Brook, because he's hung around with Brian Eno, and I think he'd get my humour. Yeah, but no, it'd have to be Brook because he's such a hero in terms of production and everything. Don't get me wrong. If the ordering would go Brook, possibly Belew, but again, I don't know if we'd get on because he's an American, and I don't know if he'd get me. Torn purely for some of the guitar stuff, and then Hackett would be last. Because I'd probably piss him off saying, do more acoustic stuff. Don't do rock albums. I'd drop a clanger and he'd probably say, get out. And that'd be it. Simon says, Abacab, great album. Yes. Cyrus says, Abacab is still my second favourite Justice album. That's good, Cyrus. that earns you a gold star. Zeb says, Abacab, it's decent. Love side A, but skip most of side B. I don't know. It's not that bad. Exactly. Bill Collins from the Midlife Crisis. Yes. Crisis. Can't get away. Top solo Phil Collins solo albums. I don't know. You only need face value, didn't you? Really. Someone said he'd make a good Davros. Jack, that's just rude. Phil was good in Buster. He's even better in Frauds with Hugo Weaving. Who? Agent Smith and Elrond. Him. Go and watch that. Roland Toppin. I can't get the character name out of my mind. That's a good one. And says, I'm off to the loo for a Snowflower Elder. Squeeze one out for me. Josh says, Steve Hackett has cool hair. Yeah, for his granny. He's got granny hair, isn't he? All these rock stars have granny hair. Chris says, do you get nostalgic for the 80s in general? I do a bit. Do you know why? Because I see what a miserable time my kids have. Because it's all gender ideology, and it drives my daughter and one of her friends quite mad. And yeah, so I think what a simple, easy time it was when me and the missus were kids, when it was just about Top the Pops and music and computer games and films and things and books and comics, and now everything is just overly complicated and everyone's got to wave a certain coloured flag and it's all so fucking boring. Oh, it's like, what, we didn't have gender bending in the fucking 80s? Boy George, Marilyn, among others, It's like, yeah, we did all that, Boring. Zeb says, thoughts on the VDG box remixed. Expensive. I don't really. Again, VDG aren't a band that needs remixing. They're a pretty minimalist kind of band if you listen to them. Their records are clean. They don't. I've never ever thought, oh, that sounds a bit muddy or that sounds muffled. They always come across as pretty clean and dynamic. So I don't know. I'm not really that interested in it. I wish I could be, and this is why I feel a bit, I feel I'm a hack fraud these days, because they bring this stuff out and I look at it and go, I look at it and go, oh, it could be good. And then I look at the contents and I go, and how much do they want? Oh, 130 quid. Well, a lot of that I've already heard because all the bonus tracks from the bonus CDs that they brought out in 2005 or whatever are there. And I'm looking at stuff I haven't, oh, the DVD, Blu-ray. There's some video content on there that I don't think I've seen. And the remixes. It's like, oh, remixes, you listen to them once and you put them back and then you just listen to the vinyls. And that's where we're at. But, if you guys enjoy it, that's fine. Personally, Chris says, 80s music got a really bad rap 20 years ago. No, it didn't. It's just the late 80s stuff when it all became very derivative and sample-based and it all just very much sounded the same. That's when it got bad. It was, up until about 88, things were good fun. And then from about late 88, mid 88 to 92, it's just a shit show. An absolute shit show. Garrett likes Trespass, that's his number one. Andrew says, what I think of Black Midi. I haven't checked him out. Crisis was my introduction to Oldfield, maybe to progressive rock in general. Could you believe that? I was a kid. It's one with Moonlight Shadow on. And that's why. Carried away on a moonlight shadow. Mountain says, what if they had David Byrne or Laurie Anderson on Doctor Who? Would that be a good fit? If they could get Laurie Anderson to do it. Because, again, weird. David Byrne's weird, but I don't know if he could... I don't know. This is the thing. An American Doctor would be a real issue. But why not? We've had a woman. We've had a black woman Doctor. Why not have an American? Just trying to think of an American actor that I think could pull it off. I can't. It's terrible because whenever they ask me, who do you want? And I only ever have two answers. Sean Pertwee, because I think that would be really cool. I think I'd like to see a real arse-kicking Doctor who cracks skulls, who isn't afraid to use a blaster, Goes, fuck, peace, love and understanding. Let's kick some Dalek arse, The military one, the proper War Doctor who wants to... John Hurt as the War Doctor, really? Don't think so. Sean Pertwee is the War Doctor, absolutely. Somebody who's got a bit of attitude. And of course, my personal pick, I've wanted for years, ever since Tennant left, would be Rhys Ifans from Twin Town, which I mentioned earlier. We need a Welsh Doctor, and he's got it. I think he's weird enough looking, and he's got the gravitas and the jokiness as well. He can do. He's a bit like Eccleston in that respect. I'd like to really see him do it, but apart from that, I can't really think of anyone else I'd really like to give it a go. I'm kind of stuck with those two. I know it's never going to happen. But those are my two choices. Or, if you go really left field, I'd like to see Paul McGann. There's some sort of, error in the time stream, and Paul McGann's Doctor gets an actual crack of the whip. And I think the fans would like it. I'm not sure Paul McGann would be up for it. And it'd be weird enough and wonderful enough to get some of the old fans back into it again. And, a couple of seasons of him, kind of stuck. And it's like, oh no, how did this happen? There's been a time fracture. I don't know, they can call it that or so, I don't know. But I'd like to see that. I think that would be cool. Brandon says, I have to say, I listened to the worst prog album, which shall not be named. I certainly didn't like it, but it wasn't as bad as I expected. Worst prog album ever, I suppose. I don't know to which you're referring to. I have no idea. Siren says, where are they? They're shoving sociopolitics into your kids. Fucking hell. It's all my kids, all very talks about. Her friends go on about it all the time. She got a text from, one of her male friends. He says he's gay. I think he's just about turned 13. And he ain't gay because he fancies my daughter. I said, he's just saying that so he can get close to Verity. But now he thinks he might be trans because he's got long hair and somebody mistook him for a girl and he liked it. I had long hair when I was young. I got mistaken for a girl. I liked it because I knew I was fucking beautiful. You know, I knew I'd done the androgynous stuff, but I didn't think, hey, I want to be a girl now. And there's a lot of it going on. I mean, because Verity's not interested in boys, like boyfriends and girlfriend stuff, she's too sensible. And of course, they've got to get past me. They say that she's asexual. And I go, no, V, you're sapiosexual. You're only turned on by intellect, and they're all stupid because she likes smart boys. But that's how they talk. Everyone's got to have a label. Everyone's got to have a little flag to. And this one's trans, and that one's this, and they're doing pronouns. And if you get the pronouns wrong, they get called transphobe in the playground. It's crazy bonkers. It is absolutely crazy bonkers, and I hate it. I hate all of it. It's all a nonsense because these are kids. You know, nobody knows what they want to be when they're young. Crikey, I still don't know what I want to be, you know? So I just think it's an awful amount of pressure to put on kids, especially when they're children. Sex doesn't even come into it. But this is it. It's become a form of grooming. Munton says, how about bad cover version of The Liquidator? Yeah, I'd like to do that. It's on Time Vaults. Let me just put that back. I don't want to pollute the live stream with Jonathan King anymore. V. I kept it. Oh, I kept it. Hey, I didn't get rid of this one. I bought this in 1994. I was in a miserable job, and The Liquidator, the first track of that, is just the fucking best thing they ever did. It's one of my favourite tracks of theirs. I'm sure this is well hooky. I'm sure this is like weird pirate shit. I don't know. Weird pirate shit. Oh no, it's got Peter Hamill doing the sleeve notes, so maybe it is official. I really like that song a lot. One day I'll pick up the vinyl of Time Vaults. One day. Josh says Trespass is my favourite album too. I bought it on vinyl the other day, and Nursery Crime. I'm getting the original Genesis vinyls because you know what? I've never owned them. Never owned them. So that's my project. Last year it was Soft Machine. This year, original Genesis vinyls. I'm trying to get the cheapest copies I can. They're a bit crackly, but I give them a clean off. There's no dubious stains on them, so that's all right. Andrew says, will I be buying the All Things Must Pass 50th Anniversary Edition? Why? You think I'm a George Harrison fan? No. Andrew says, are you tempted by the Crate Edition? No. Do you think I'm a George Harrison fan? I only like So Long Ago When We Were Fab. Woo! It's the only George Harrison song I like. Pink says in as well, Phoenix was everywhere. Oh, did I get cut off then? It says I've been reconnected. So yeah, I was on holiday and I just have great memories of it and reading books and stuff. Jason says, Solly's beard. Indeed. Pink says, I like it too. Crimes of Passion. It's not my favourite of his. Chris says, they got Capaldi, so I don't see why I can't get Sean Pertwee. I think it's because of his dad and everything, and maybe he don't want to do it. Paul said, I'd like to see someone like Tom Hardy. Could be good, but he's doing Venom. Pink says, Androgynous Darren. It was a thing. Garrett says, do you still have the VDGG compilation I prophesied disaster? Yes, I do. Well, that was from the live album Vital, merge. Cyrus says, it feels like All Things Must Pass is getting a remaster. Well, I nearly got the vinyl, like the regular vinyl. But then I thought, I'm not really a George Harrison fan. I could just listen to it on YouTube Music or something. So yeah, I'm not really a fan. Brandon says, gotta go. See you later. Have a good one. Andy says, SNES or Mega Drive? Oh, I've got both. It's got a SNES Mini and a Mega Drive Mini. I'll swing both ways. So that's it. We got to the end. Thank you for joining me. Oh, wait a minute. No. Carrot says, what are you ever into Audience Clifford Ward? Not really. Only from the box set that I've heard, but I've never really chased them up. Because I never saw them around on the thing. Remember the box 5G? Yeah, I bought it and I sold it. And I think I bought it again for review and then I sold it. It was a bit of a lopsided thing. Chris says, Amiga or Atari? Atari ST. Atari ST 520 FM. How? I never had an Amiga. It was too expensive. But I didn't have any animosity to Amiga owners either. The same way as I didn't have any animosity to Commodore owners when I owned a Spectrum. Or BBC owners, for that matter. Can I count to 1,000? I can barely count to 5. Anyway, thank you. I'm going to go because, I still got to get up in the morning. Someone's got to take the dog for a walk. But I have the bed to myself. And that means it's wonderful. So remember, folks, if you can't be good, be safe. But more importantly, don't tell your mother. No night.